Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Monday evening to you all, and obviously, what a big day it was actually today. So far for Tottenham Hotspur, we'll be talking about Christian Romero signing a new long-term contract, as well as Eze Spence, both being officially announced. So we'll be talking about that. We've got some updates surrounding Eze, which coincides a little bit with Crystal Palace's, I guess, replacement work. So we're talking about that as well. And yeah, really sort of just mapping out the rest of the week and things like that. To give you a heads up, this week on Wednesday, I go on holiday. I will bring my MacBook with me because I'm going to play some Football Manager. But yeah, if things go out and happen, I'll try and watch it. And yeah, reviews of the City game and things like that. I'll probably pre-record my preview for Manchester City and get that out to you all whilst I'm drinking a cocktail or two by the pool. Evening Sonia and Spurs, Van Gogh. God, good Lord, Van Gogh's here. You know, it's serious. Steampunk, how are we all? Let's jump in and let's talk long-term contracts. And, I know, by the way, some people are going to be upset because, we've not signed player A, player B, C, D, or E, but you've tied down your best player to a long-term contract. And you've now tied down what, could be deemed quite a key player in Eze Spence to a long-term contract, which I think are great moves, by the way. So it was announced by Tottenham earlier today about Eze Spence, 8 hours ago. Eze Spence was announced for a new long-term contract. And, massively, first and foremost, congratulations. That's the important thing here. Obviously, for the player, it's a great thing for the player, but it's very much deserved for Eze Spence. He is a guy that's had it rough at Tottenham start his career. He obviously was signed by Conte. Conte never truly wanted him. It was more of a Paratici signing, and he was then obviously shipped out on loan to Stade Rennes. He goes out on loan to Leeds. That doesn't work out. He goes on loan to Genoa. They don't want to keep him, and it looks like it's going to be one of those really unfortunate cases of. Do you remember Eze Spence when he signed for Spurs? And do you remember that? And do you remember this? And I'm so happy for him. This is the key thing here when you talk about footballers. This guy has an attitude problem, and then you get people calling these players names and things like that. You didn't hear from the player, and he just knuckled down and got on with it. And, I'm happy he's proved the naysayers wrong. I'm happy that if anyone does sort of question his character, I think evidence in the last 6 months alone that you're probably an idiot, if I'm honest. He's been brilliant, really, when you think about all the mitigating circumstances of playing for Spurs in the last sort of 6-7 months. He's been very, very solid. And, we've seen it so far to start this season. He's been probably one of our better players already this season. I thought he handled PSG very, very well. Kvara did nothing against him. Handled Hakimi as well. Obviously, the weekend that's just been handled himself very, very well. And look, the more that he adds, I think, to his creative ability, the better we will be for it. And, I think there's a case that you might say, actually, he's probably a better left back at times than a right back, which is hilarious because I think he's a good right back. So, yeah, absolutely congratulations. But yeah, on Romero, our best player, he is. He's now the club captain and massively deserving of a new long-term contract. It's a 4-year deal, so he's here till 2029. He had interest from Madrid's. He had interest from Madrid, He just looks happy. He looks settled, and actually he was magnificent to round off last season, winning the Europa League. He's been very good start this season. PSG's PSG, kept a clean sheet against Burnley. He's been great. So super, super happy for Christian. He deserves it. I can't speak highly enough of how good Christian Romero is as a defender. I'm not I'm not one of those people who, um, yeah, he's such a world class defender in my opinion. So there's that. I've missed a few of your comments. Apologies, I'll come to them really quickly. Daniel, how are we? Sakil, how are we? Janice, Jazz, Milton, Teddy. Good Lord. The OGs are in here. Teddy's in here. We've got Van Gogh. The OGs are proper in here now. Get Callum Roach, and you've got the holy trinity of the OGs and Marshall, actually. That's the Holy Spirit, Marshall, and what have you. Sean, how are we? Sean's hitting me with a government name. All right, fair enough. Let's know how are we? Denise, MGS, AJ, how are we all? Look, on that side of things, that's that. Great news on those guys. Obviously, there's still a lot more work to be done this transfer window, but we're getting more and more and more done. So cracking stuff on that regard. There's still players that, need to be extended or moved off of. We'll have to see what happens with the Basuma side of things with 1 year left on his contract. Same with Bentancur. Obviously Brian Hill and Solomon, which I accept Brian Hill and Solomon to move on. I don't think that's going to be a problem as such. Just thinking of who else. Vuskovic may go out on loan, obviously, but I think Vuskovic going out on loan is somewhat dependent on Spurs getting a new centre back. So we'll have to sort of see on that side of things. Savio deal's not off. It's not off. Guillaume Balaguer is not the person you want to trust on this news. No other big source has said the deal's off. No Romano, no Ornstein, none of the Spurs ITKs have said the deal's off. It's only Guillaume Balaguer, who is what you'd call tier 3. Great news about Romero and Spence. Now let's get Eze in. Absolutely. We're coming to Eze in a second. Any word on Bentancur? I assume that's the next one up, contract extension wise. I assume that he's the next one up. So, yeah, we'll see on that regards. I'm the only OG. Stop it. But yeah, look, good news on that regards. Moving a little bit on though, when we talk about the Eze side of things, because there's a few things. I've just seen this. Apparently, Hwang Hee-chan is a player of interest for Crystal Palace. El Canous is a guy they're really trying to work on. But look, the Eze deal it's in the hands of Daniel Levy and Steve Parish, who obviously run both Spurs and Crystal Palace respectively. This deal is progressing. It is. I know it's slow, and I know we all wish he was signed already, but it is what it is on that regard. But it is progressing, okay? I think if I was predicting where it's at, I think they are currently bickering over a certain 2-3 million, which in a deal where it's worth 60 odd is not a lot when you think about it. So, yes, I think it gets done. I'm not worried about Eberich Eze. I think it will get done. I think he will be a player for Spurs and will play against Manchester City at the weekend. I think he's going to be needed. Definitely going to be needed. Hell of a start for him, by the way. Chelsea away. I know they want to see if they can get him to play Thursday in the Conference League. I would say let's not try and tempt fate. He's already played one game extra than we hoped he would. Let's not tempt fate and get him to play 2 extra games, especially when we play Saturday lunchtime. That's Thursday. So let's see on that regard. But I think it's going to get done. Again, I totally get how a lot of you feel because you wish it was done yesterday. Sometimes these deals take time. Have I cut out? No. Sorry, thought it cut out for me for a second there. I think I'm still live. I am still live. Someone can help me there. I think I'm still live. I'm going to continue talking. I think I'm still live. But no, on Eze, I think it does get done. I don't foresee it being an issue. It's It's having an issue. Hang on. Let me quickly refresh. Is it no? No, I think we're live. I still think we're live. I'm going to continue talking. I still think it's done. I still think he'll be player for for Spurs this weekend. You know, the situation with Savio is, I mean, there was a report from Guillaume Balaguer that the deal's off. The deal's not off. How many times have we heard the deal's off, yet they're still in contract? Their clubs are still in contact with one another. The deal is not off. That is Man City's way of saying, can you offer the money that we want, basically? They're trying to use sources to say that. The deal isn't off. The deal is still very much on with Savio. The touted report, I think it was, the source said it was £66 million, was 72, 73 million euros is what they want. You know, we'll see on that side of things. I'm just going to quickly refresh the stream. Hopefully we're back live. Contact Savio's agents in London. Yeah, we've definitely been in contact with him. By the way, if this is cut out, I'm still going to go live. I'm still going to talk. I just can't be bothered. I'm going to say it's a YouTube problem, not a me problem. But yeah, I think Savio will get done as well. I'm not worried about that. It will get done. It would be a surprise if it didn't, is all I would say. Yeah, Sasha Tagliafieri, you know, Palace and Tottenham are getting closer to agreement with Eze. However, a deal is not expected to be finalised this Monday. Further discussions on certain details related to payment terms are set to take place in the coming hours. So yeah, look, there you go. It's progressing. It's getting better. It is getting closer. We're just a little bit further away. That's all it is. Just a little bit further away. It will get done. Okay? It will get done. On Eze front, Savio, yeah, maybe feels a little bit further away, but we'll sort of see. We'll sort of see. I think YouTube is having a bit of a mare with me. Don't really know why YouTube's struggling, but it is. Let's have a look. Heard YouTube England was having issues. Yeah, I think it is having issues. So I think the people that can watch me maybe are on a VPN or they're not in England. But yeah, there's issues in England for sure. I assume there's. Shall a look if YouTube's trending on Twitter. Yeah, there's an outage on YouTube. There you go. So there you go. What's my next video? Hopefully it's a player being signed personally, but if not, I'll be in Spain. I'll be in Spain and talking City. Talking City preview for Thursday. But hopefully something happens tomorrow or not long into Wednesday, so I can go live whilst in Spain. But we'll sort of see. But yeah, look, I'm gonna kill it off there because there's issues. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you all next time. Peace.